8 of the 10 starting outfield players have tallied a goal or an assist this season for SPU. Caitlin Willis going over the top. Willis down line into the back of Michaela Sonsley. 2 defenders around her. She'll settle for a throw-in. Sophia Chilzik tracks this ball down on the byline. It runs out of play. Chilzik thought she'd won a corner kick. It's out for a goal kick. And we did get a look at Nicole Anderson the last time the Clan were in town. Sophomore goalkeeper Michaela Isobi out of North Vancouver, BC, was the player between the posts. Anderson's first restart keeps it shallow there. Ball up top to Pringle. And now this one might fall through for Hollis Roski. Pass is tracked and cut out by DeVere. Head along by Sonstely. Casey Reeve turns at midfield. Her ball's cut out by Allison Dixon. Now Christina Dixon up the left flank. Sydney Smith cuts it out for the Falcons. Ball in for Smith. Cayetano venturing forth. Far side to Megan Nielsen. And ahead for Chilzik. Chilzik, a big touch into space. She'll look to cut it back. And the Falcons will settle for a throw-in deep in front Simon Fraser territory. Nielsen. Into Chilzik. Cut out of play. Falcons will keep the pressure high, try to win a turnover in advanced position. Thrown in by Cuthbert. Chilzik. Nieder applying the pressure. Falcons have it once more. 5 minutes gone here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Falcons have had the lion's share of the possession. Simon Fraser has not had much opportunity to venture out of its own half. Early cross in here looking for Casey Reeve. It's too long for her. Bobbled but ultimately caught by Nicole Anderson. Anderson's distribution out toward midfield. Won back by Sydney Smith. Here's Jenna Lee Baxter. Baxter tried to go through. She was hoping that Christina Dixon was making a run up the left side. Baxter also a dynamic part of this Clan attack. 3 goals, 6 assists to her name. Now a promising ball for Casey Reeve. She has Chilzik in the middle. Reeve into the alleyway. Cut back cross there, was looking for Chilzik, ultimately cleared off the line. Christina Dixon hoping to turn, and the Falcons will win the throw. Julia DeVere going in for Reeve. Nice and sunny conditions out here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Not what you'd usually expect for the end of September in Seattle. But certainly neither of these sides are complaining, except for possibly SPU keeper Riley Travis, who has the sun directly in her eyes here in the first 45. Thrown on the far side. Megan Nielsen traps it, looking to keep it alive. Clatters into her player. Looked to be a 50-50 ball from over here, but the referee had a much better view of it than ours. Tanis Cuthbert, the player who was upended. Turned by Baxter. Looking ahead for Pringle. She's found it against Nielsen. Pringle cuts in for Christina Dixon. Her first touch plays in her teammate there. Big touch into space. Riley Travis collects. That was Samantha Donald with the well-timed run. Credit the field vision from Christina Dixon. She recognized she wouldn't have time to turn that and to poke it through. A well-designed counterattack in transition from the Clan. Sausley calling for the ball up the near side. It comes her way and is headed out of play by Allison Dixon. This falls through for Nieder, who puts a shot toward goal but can't put it on frame. This is wide of the right post.
Shot goal by Claire Nieder.
Allison Dixon, not quite sure what to do with this high press the Falcons are playing against her. Clan looking to continue to work small combinations to work it out of their own end. But it seems like the Falcons know that if they go into the full court press, as it were, they can create problems for the Clan in their own half of the field. Now Pringle has dropped back to facilitate the attack. She squares it to Cuthbert. And further wide still. Megan Moore sticking a shoulder in against Tegan McKay. Alicia Cayetano intercepts the cross. Samantha Donald. Long-range chance from her. That one whistles over the crossbar. And out for a goal kick.
Shot for Simon Fraser by number 8, Samantha Donald.
Cayetano in the middle. Cuthbert intercepts the long ball. Nielsen down line toward Chilzik. Cleared back to Cayetano. And Cayetano was drawing a free kick after the ball went away. And Pringle, the guilty party. Nice. Clever ball there for Sonstely. Sonstely going ahead for Nieder. Options at the back post. Nieder racing to the byline, spins this one across, and that one headed away, I believe, by Emma Lobo. Out for the first corner of the match. Falcons sending out Sydney Smith to take it. Sonsley standing on the goal line. Claire Nieder waiting at the penalty spot. Smith's ball in. Met at the back post. Sent back across the face of goal. Megan Moore scoops one forward, but gets too far underneath it. Half-hearted appeal for a penalty kick there from Megan Moore, but nothing given by the referee. Falcons are on a 2-0 run right now to start off GNAC play. They won on the road 4-0 at St. Martin's last week and took down Central Washington 2-0 as well. Chilzik runs through her player, comes away with the ball. Into the middle towards Sonsley, who tried to turn, poke it with her right foot. This ball gets up to Pringle. Pringle for Baxter. Going to try the ball over the top. Tipped out by Caitlin Willis. Emma Pringle has been given a lot of free license by head coach Annie Hamill to drop back, try to get this offense running for the Simon Fraser clan. Trick is her speed's so dynamic and it really can't be used when she has to hold up, wait for support as Simon Fraser looks to clear its lines. That ball lifted away from Hollis Roski. Nieder. Wide for Nielsen. Caitlin Willis. Up to Chilzik. Cleared away by Lobo.
Go White.
Julia DeVere making the run up the near side. Caitlin Willis has the ball. She finds DeVere. DeVere ahead for Nieder. Cut back inside for DeVere, who's disrupted by Christina Dixon. She clears up to Pringle. Pringle spins out of a challenge, trying to link up with Baxter. And it's cut away by Nielsen. Now a long ball finds Baxter. She'll go in against Cayetano. Baxter up to Pringle, who spins out of a challenge. Pringle on her left foot here. She'll take the shot. Riley Travis punches it wide. Rebound spills, but there's no one in position to cash in. Well, we played 15 minutes here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Just 2 shots apiece so far for each of these teams. Samantha Donald going for Baxter. Falcons switch to DeVere. Sonsley, ball gets beyond her. Goes out for a Falcons throw-in. Ball drop back to Willis. She'll go for a first-time cross. Looking into the middle. Casey Reeve is there, as is Chilzik. Megan Moore lurking at the back post, but the deflection doesn't come her way. Nielsen. Throw-in comes right back to her. She strikes across looking for the head of Reeve. And Anderson up and collects. Throw out to the near side for Dixon. Back to Carly Grosso. Anderson under pressure. Chops one over to Allison Dixon. And she draws a free kick. Grosso restarts. Long kick met by the head of Sydney Smith. Hollis Roski attempted to get the ball to the far side of the field. Hit it into her own teammate in Jenny Baxter. Now switch for Sonstely. Pressure on her back with Dixon tracking back. DeVere. All the way down the sideline. Falls in for Chilzik. Chilzik spins that one across, and Anderson flashes the hands. Keeps that one out of the net. And credit the hard work of Julia DeVere up the right side for the Falcons for creating that opportunity. Took a couple of big touches to get around defenders. And cut in what turned to be a pretty solid cross, left Chilzik in a position to shoot. Baxter switches for Allison Dixon. Dixon cuts inside on Sonsley. Now comes outside for Roski. Wider for Christina Dixon. Across from her and booted away by Willis. Donald up for Roski. Roski going for goal, and that one's wide of the right post. First sub of the game here in the 20th minute. Sophia Chilzik headed to the bench. And Brooke Lancaster, the senior out of Lake Taps, Washington, checking in. Arby Busey rotating legs a little bit here. The rare misplaced pass from Casey Reeve winds up in a throw-in for the Clan. Pringle draws a free kick just past midfield. Carly Grosso will restart. She's already shown she has a bit of a leg from an earlier free kick. She picks out Donald on the far side. One back by Lancaster in her first involvement. Caden Willis, DeVere started making the run, now gets the ball. She'll recycle it. Up for Sonstely, trying to go in the middle. Jenny Baxter looking to spring the counterattack. She wants Pringle over the top. Cayetano's in the right place. Still falls for Roski, now Christina Dixon. Pringle, look at the turn, sliding challenge from Willis, gets it away into Lancaster. Claire Nieder tying up with Jenny Baxter. Nieder down on the far side, has drawn a free kick for Seattle Pacific University. Ball falls for Sonsoli. Goes straight ahead to Reeve. She's tied up with Allison Dixon. Reeve has fouled her in the process.
All right, Gabe.
Didn't seem to be too much in that. The referee perhaps trying to clamp down on the game a little bit. Grosso restarts. Caitlin Willis. Poked through by Reeve to DeVere. DeVere, foot race to the byline. And she'll play the cross off Allison Dixon for the second corner.
One kick coming up for your Falcons. Number 15, Sydney Smith with the corner kick.
Nieder and Reeve heating up space in the middle. Sydney Smith set to take the kick. Floated back post, free header. Casey Reeve got there. That ball stays in play, comes back to the near side for Smith. A second cross now from Smith. Headed at the back post by Reeve once more. And tipped over the bar and out. And from the way that came off Casey Reeve's head, you thought for sure that one was going to be out of play. Wound up staying on the right side of the lane, and that was what the referees explained to Carly Grosso right now. From our perspective in the box, it looked like it had gone out. 25th minute, 0-0 between the Simon Fraser Clan and Seattle Pacific University Falcons.
Substitution for Simon Fraser. Out is number 9, Tegan McKay. And in number 15, Carmen Brown.
On that last stoppage, Carmen Brown checked into the match for Tegan McKay. Brown is a junior out of Cave Creek, Arizona. Annie Hamill looking to get a different look up top. Falcons back on the ball. Coming to the near side for Willis. She has runners downfield. Keeps it short for Sonsoli. Sonsoli poking that ball through. It falls for Megan Moore. Anderson sprints off her line and collects it. Sydney Smith. Nieder. Sonsoli. DeVere making the overlapping run. She goes straight ahead but puts the ball behind Lancaster. Willis controls it midfield. Far side for Nielsen. Here's Caitlin Willis venturing downfield. Nifty backheel there. That one sent toward goal. Megan Moore has it bounce up, and it comes off her shin.
Megan Moore with the
Ava Jovanola, the first year out of Sammamish, Washington, will check in now. She comes in for Nielsen at left back.
Coming out for the Falcons is number 29, Megan Nielsen, and is number 26.
Samantha Donald.
Now in for the Falcons, Ava Giovanola.
Long ball over the top. Carmen Brown sprints onto this, as does Riley Travis. Travis read that absolutely right all the way. Recognized she was going to have to make a run to get to that ball. Brave goalkeeping. Ball up to a deep-lying Reeves. Back for Brown. Hollis-Roski. Deep throw and leads to a free kick for Simon Fraser. Dangerous position. Like an abbreviated corner kick. The distance from the byline means you could actually put this on goal if you have the quality. Looks like it's Jenna-Lee Baxter lining up over the kick. Baxter floats one back post. Falcons the first one to it. Cuthbert sends it back across the face of goal, but out of play. And it's gone out for a goal kick here in the 30th minute. Two more subs for the Falcons. On Kim Sierra Smith and Michaela Murray.
Substitutions for Seattle Pacific. Out number 21, Elsie Reed, and number 11, Claire Eater, and in number 14, Michaela Murray, and number 3, Sierra Smith.
Over the top looking for Smith. Smith gets a touch on here. Emma Lobo puts it out wide. 5'3" Emma Lobo doesn't necessarily fit the typical description of what you'd look for in a center back. But she hasn't put a foot wrong so far this afternoon. Thrown into Lancaster. Back toward Cayetano. Kaylin Willis. Cayetano going over the top. Sarah Smith gives chase. Anderson got to that ball. Player upended in the box was Michaela Sonstely. And that'll lead to 3 substitutions for the Clan.
Fraser, number 4, Hollis-Roski, number 11, Jenna-Lee Baxter, and number 10, Emma Pringle. In for the Clan, number 7,
Caitlin Earhartson.
number 19,
Danae Robillard.
and number 16, Gabrielle Brissett.
And Gabrielle Brissett all on now for the Clan. 32nd minute, 0-0. This is Allison Dixon, who is dispossessed, but wins the throw-in. Allison Dixon in for Christina Dixon. Allison Dixon wants the ball over the top. Speculative to Danae Robillard. And escorted out for an SPU goal kick. That will also lead to the introduction into the match of McKenna Ritz, the first year out of Walla Walla.
Number 8, Michaela Sonstely.
And Michaela Sonstely
And number 17,
will head to the bench. Clan have it now. One back in midfield by Sydney Smith. Lancaster to Sierra Smith. Wants Lancaster back out wide. Lobo will be the first one to it. And she tucks it out of play for a throw-in. Thrown into Sierra Smith. She's looking for space for a cross. Sends one toward the face of goal. Didn't get square around it, though. It's out for a goal kick. Another Falcons throw in. DeVere will line up and do it again. 35th minute. Willis wants the ball back. Going ahead for DeVere. DeVere puts a shoulder in against Brown and wins the corner.
Go Falcons!
Corner kick coming up for the Falcons. Number 15, Sydney Smith with the corner kick.
Ava Giovanola will take the kick from the near side. Sydney Smith checking in at the near post alongside Sierra Smith. Looking to manufacture something if they can. The in-swinger from Giovanola. Lifted away near the back post. Comes out as far as Cayetano. Cayetano serves it right back in. Falcons trying to control that ball. Now batted wide. Christina Dixon. Well, it's a hopeful through ball hit by the Simon Fraser clan. I just can't really get anything going with most of their starting speed up top over on the bench. McKenna Ritz. Willis. Carmen Brown hits it over the touchline. Cayetano up to Smith. Murray trying to make herself a nuisance in the attacking third. Megan Moore wide for Giovanola. And out for an SPU throw-in. 38th minute. Falcons have controlled most of this first half. Clan have had a couple of good looks on the counterattack. But SPU has not been able to break down a stout Simon Fraser back line. Sierra Smith settles for a throw-in on the near side. Receives the throw-in. Carly Grosso tucks the ball back out of play. Falcons will change again.
Substitution for your Falcons.
Here comes Emma Young, the senior out of Kapolei, Hawaii.
And in, number 9.
Sierra Smith looking for DeVere. Ball was a little bit hard hit for her. It's gone out for a goal kick. We tick into the 40th minute as DeVere tries a ball over the top. Caitlin Willis managed to draw some defenders at midfield. Falcons don't seem to have been able to make anything of it.
All right, let's go, Falcons, right here.
McKenna Ritz. And moving into the alley, cuts back onto her left. Pokes in a through ball here for Casey Reeve.
Hey, nice play.
Falcons have manufactured another corner. It was Michaela Murray that got on the end of that cross. Threatening looking ball, it's Jovanola. In with the short in-swinger. Poked toward goal, appeals for another deflection, but that one's poked out by Sydney Smith at the byline. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Ball comes near side of Grosso. Up for Allison Dixon. DeVere up for Murray. Can she turn? Forced to retreat. And the Falcons will reset. Jovanola, the 1-2 with Lancaster. Lancaster searching through ball there. Doesn't find anyone but Anderson. Falcons working it out of their own end. 3:22 reads the clock on the scoreboard. Over the top for Jovanola. Jovanola and Cuthbert tying up. Throw in the way of the Falcons. In for Murray. He's got all kinds of pressure. Still managed to get a cross off. Cleared away in the penalty area. That looked to be Danae Robillard. Put her body on the line. Long throw in looking for Smith. Lobo is there. Retreating to the ball and recovering it is Earhartson. Runs out of play on the far side. Caitlin Willis pulls that ball back against Christina Dixon. Dixon sticks a foot and still gets it away from her. Dixon in transition now toward Earhartson. Asia Cayetano in the right place once more. Lancaster. Falcons hoping they can catch the Clan unsettled here. Cayetano. Willis. Up from Murray. Flick on header from her. No one in support. Anderson restarts play. Under 90 seconds to go here in the first half. Cuthbert. Robillard. Trying to work it up the far side. Brissett is there. And the Falcons win it away once more. We tick into the 45th minute. 0-0. Falcons with an 8-4 advantage in shots. And the lion's share of the possession. Falcons trying to work one more chance here. 30 seconds to go. Anderson off her line, collects. She was under pressure from McKenna Ritz. And Anderson will probably be happy to hold this ball till the referee tells her to get rid of it. Kicks it away with 13 seconds to play.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We've hit halftime at Interbay Soccer Stadium. No score between the SPU Falcons and the Simon Fraser University Clan. We go to the break, 0-0. In other SPU sports news, in volleyball, the Falcons swept all 4 matches on a homestand that concluded last week. The SPU Spikers are on the road this week and play tonight at Northwest Nazarene. Falcons' next home match is October 4th at 7 o'clock versus Alaska Fairbanks. SPU men's and women's cross-country teams compete Saturday morning at the Charles Bowles Invitational in Salem. They race for the first time this season in Seattle on October 6th at the Emerald City Open. Men's soccer team won 3-2 earlier today at MSU Billings. Chris Coles scored a game-winning goal with 44 seconds to play in the victory. The SPU men will play at St. Martin's on Saturday at 3:30 before starting a 6-game homestand on October 4th. And finally, the SPU women's soccer team plays at home again on Saturday afternoon against Northwest Nazarene. Come out to see it here at Interbay Soccer Stadium at 3 o'clock. To see your Falcons in actions. Again, your score at the break, 0-0 between Seattle Pacific University and Simon Fraser. We'll take a break here on SPUFalcons.com and return with the second half. We are back here at Interbay Soccer Stadium, moments away from the start of the second half. 0-0 through the first 45 minutes between Seattle Pacific University and the Simon Fraser clan. As they were coming back to the pitch, SPU head coach Arby Busey was having a long talk with referee Sohui Both of them kept gesturing to their lower parts of their leg, possibly their ankles. One of Arby Busey's players might have sustained an injury in the first half. He's wondering why something more serious than a free kick was or wasn't given. Falcons had an 8-4 advantage in shots in the first half. Managed to put one of those on target. Simon Fraser managed to put one of their 4 on target as well. The other big telling stat, 4 corner kicks won by the Falcons, none by the Clan. Falcons moving from right to left on your screen here in the second half, as we are just about set to go. We're underway here in the second half. Clans start with the opening kickoff. Emma Pringle back in the match now. She'll go near side for Tanis Cuthbert. And the SPU back line had a monster first half. Just really didn't give Simon Fraser anything to work with in terms of trying to break them down. Clan, for their part, remained pretty stout at the back as well. Pringle pushes up the far side for Christina Dixon. She wants Hollis Roski over the top. Come back wide for Dixon now. Michaela Sonsley dribbles clear of the melee. She'll go into the middle for Casey Reeve. It's a well-weighted ball. Reeve goes ahead and out wide. Floated back across the middle for Lancaster! Brooke Lancaster in the 46th minute. It did not take the Falcons long. They climb on top on a beautiful curling strike. And you have to wonder if the sun in the eyes of Nicole Anderson played a role in that goal. Lancaster gets her first goal of the season. And a timely moment for the Falcons. Clan trying for a quick response. Claire Nieder also notches her first assist of the season. Well, that will really change the tone of this second half. Early goals, which do seem to happen so often in those 5-minute windows right after you restart play. It will change the temper of a match. It's going to cause Simon Fraser to have to open up a little bit more as they push for an equalizer here on the road. That might create more space up front for the Falcons. And Malobo blasts that ball forward. Christina Dixon's underneath it. Julie DeVere wisely lets it run through to Riley Travis. Megan Nielsen leaves it for Lancaster. Michaela Sonsley making a run up the inside. Shouldered off the ball there. It's a fair challenge. Coming from Allison Dixon. Cayetano wins it right back. And certainly one of the big credits you have to give so far in this match as Nieder tries to poke that ball out wide. Back inside for Lancaster. A lot of bodies in front of her, though. DeVere up for Sonstally. Back inside for DeVere. Undercuts her. Lancaster tries to play it through. Samantha Donald pushes it wide. Now Christina Dixon, run into by Sydney Smith. And Emma Pringle drawing the free kick. Arby Busey not happy with the call. But Caitlin Willis did seem to come through Pringle's back. Carly Grosso will restart. She does it with a small square ball. Grosso. Pringle. Jenny Baxter. This one comes through. Christina Dixon, player upended in the box. And still down. Falcons continue to play. I don't think they've realized there's a player injured. Sonstally.
Shot by number 5, Christina Dixon.
And now Dixon's picked herself back up. Boy, that's a pretty fearless play from both players involved there. Riley Travis charging off her line. Dixon just tracking that ball out of the air and get there at the same time. And thankfully, Christina Dixon able to pick herself back to her feet. '51st minute. Falcons lead on a strike 5 minutes ago by Brooke Lancaster, who intercepts that ball, gets it right up to Nieder. She had an option, could have distributed it right away to Casey Reeve, who would have been basically one-on-one if the pass had been weighted right. Megan Nielsen. Throw-in doesn't get beyond Earhartson. Now Pringle. She'll look to do what she can, but there's 5 white jerseys around her and no red. Now some support arrives. Goes for Jenny Baxter. Undercut by Lancaster. Poked away from Pringle once more. Fan to the far side. Here's Allison Dixon. Dixon goes down holding her face. Was looking for a call from the referee there. He was not convinced. So the attempted gamesmanship from Allison Dixon doesn't pan out. Falcons back on the ball. Lancaster. Turned under pressure from Pringle. Goes for Nielsen and gets it back. Tries to hammer across to the far side. Sydney Smith retains it at midfield. Sonstally. Smith far side for Julia DeVere. DeVere going on another long run of hers. Looking to turn, sends it across. Anderson meets it at the front post, pushes it back out wide. Carly Grosso is on the ball. Grosso does a beautiful job of laying that down the line. He's creating some space for the Simon Fraser back line to work. Cayetano strikes the ball back for Travis. Well, the isolation of Emma Pringle so far in this match by the Seattle Pacific University back line has been very impressive to watch. Pringle, a few times she's been on the ball, has been a very impressive threat, but it's only been a couple of times. Nieder looking for the back heel there for Megan Moore. Allison Dixon making an advance run. She goes down outside the penalty area. Free kick given. Jenna Baxter lining up to strike this ball. She'll ask for her 10. Baxter, a couple options at the back post. Spins this to the back frame and straight into the waiting hands of Riley Travis. Reeve lets that ball run by her to Nieder. And Nieder can't do anything with it. Promising ball out wide. Coming back for Sydney Smith. Smith wound up a long shot. Anderson's clearance. First headed by Smith. Sam Donald, far side for Christina Dixon. She'll drift inside, finds Pringle atop the 18. Pressure arrives from Cayetano. Cleared as far as Cuthbert. She'll strike across with the first touch. Pringle heads that one toward goal. And it's out for a goal kick as Pringle's down. She was run into by her own player. Asia Cayetano. Sydney Smith. Megan Nielsen. Sonstely. And this here. Clever ball movement from the Falcons. They recognize they can afford to let the Clan come to them. Nielsen wants the switch. She holds on to it through the challenge of Cuthbert. And from Hartson eventually boxes her out. Christina Dixon. Sam Donald into space, and boy, there's a lot of red jerseys on the far side. Allison Dixon, the first one to it. Tried to go inside, comes right back to her. Jenna Lee Baxter. Baxter's ball, looking for Pringle. Might have gotten a touch to that. Still into the hands of Travis. More hard-nosed defending from the Seattle Pacific University back line. Ball into space for Cayetano. SPU obviously not just content with a one-goal lead. You never are in the world of soccer. But still, they can afford to be very patient with their attacks right now. Simon Fraser so far has not really pressed into the open spaces, and they're going to need to. Looks like another free kick given. And that went to Seattle Pacific University. They wanted to go quickly. Casey Reeves struck it right after Su Hui signaled for it. Took him a long time to figure out which way he was going to give that free kick. We've crossed the hour marker at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Falcons leading 1-0 on the back of a goal from Brooke Lancaster. Clever restart there to DeVere, and her cross does not stay in play. Along for Donald. Emma Pringle. Pringle, hard hit ball over the top. Donald gives chase to it, but won't be able to keep it in play. Erhardsen. Sliding challenge from Nielsen, wins the ball cleanly. Su Hui gives a free kick anyway. Ball up to Pringle. Dropped off for Baxter. Wide toward Erhardsen. She sprints to the near sideline. Cuts in a low cross. Knocked away by Willis. Nieder. Square to Lancaster. She has Sonsley on the cross. Lays it off to her. Sonsley trying to go through the middle here. Holds onto it through a dribble. Pokes it ahead for Emma Young. The flag stays down. Young now in the penalty area. Young to the byline. It's a big touch from Emma Young. And she'd like that ball back. Beautiful link-up play in transition. The ball from Lancaster to Sonsley, and then Sonsley finding Young. Young just needed to square that with her first touch. Anderson not sure what to do. The high press turns it straight over to Sonsley. Casey Reeve gives chase to the byline. And cuts it right back out, but SPU has a look at how they want to defend these goal kicks. Sierra Smith and Michaela Murray returning now for the Falcons. Casey Reeve, and it appears Claire Nieder checking out.
And into the match, number 14, Michaela Murray, and number 3, Sierra Smith.
You see it here, Anderson just under the high pressure, forced to go exactly where the Falcons want her to. And that's what's causing a lot of these turnovers from the Clan, is they're trying to play out of the back. But the high press from the Falcons is just forcing them to hit these long balls that Seattle Pacific's midfield has been eaten up all match long. Emma Pringle going to check out now for Tegan McKay. Yeah, I get a feeling with the re-entry role, we'll have not seen the last of Emma Pringle, as her Clan trail 1-0 with about 25 minutes left to go here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Ball in for Murray. Lancaster. McKay. Baxter going quickly over the top. Caitlin Willis is there. Cayetano taking her touches, gets the ball ahead to Murray. She has runners. She tries to go for Sonsley. Allison Dixon interposes herself. Now it's Christina Dixon up the far side to Baxter. Baxter draws the free kick on the far sideline. And it looks like she drew an apology from Julia DeVere as well. Said, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was looking at the ball the whole way in. Baxter sails in a free kick. That one headed wide of goal. Comes off of a Falcons player, though, and it's out for the first corner of the match for the visitors, who do have some height on the field in the form of Carly Grosso. We'll see if she winds up being the target. Tegan McKay, also a pretty tall opportunity. Both of them kind of lurking at the back post just above the 6-yard box. Baxter keeps it on the ground. Cross spun in, only gets as far as Cayetano. Right back for Baxter, who's onside. Ball comes in for McKay, stopped by Travis. Bouncing toward the goal, Travis back in front of it. Riley Travis, credit her with a double save. Beautifully worked set piece. That works its way in to Tegan McKay on a half volley, and Riley Travis in exactly the right spot. A huge moment here in the 68th minute. Well, you wonder why she's one of the best in the nation from a save perspective. It's because she makes stops like that. Another phenomenal pair of stops from Riley Travis. McKenna Ritz back on now for the Falcons as Michaela Sonsley gets some bench.
Man of the match for Seattle Pacific, number 8, Michaela Sonsley, and in number 17, McKenna Ritz.
Brooke Lancaster sprints near side looking for the throw-in. She'll drift up as the throw goes to Sierra Smith instead. DeVere. A lot of space for DeVere now. Going through now for Young. Flag stays out. Emma Young trying to make it 2-0. And a beautiful stop at the other end for Nicole Anderson. Charged off her line. Young read her run and tried to tuck it just underneath her. Anderson doing a great job of getting down. And that saved a goal for sure. Cayetano, Earhartson, Young turning under pressure. Smith dispossessed by Donald. McKay runs through a challenge. Baxter making the advance run. This ball might come through for her, and DeVere chops it away. Earhartson trying to keep the Clan on the front foot. In for Roski. Earhartson. Looking for McKay, back for Earhartson. Earhartson goes near post, doesn't put it on frame. And they're saying it took a deflection, it's out for a corner.
Shot for the Clan, number 7, Caitlin Earhartson.
Well, the last corner led to something very promising for the Clan. We'll see if this one here in the 70th minute will do the same.
Number 11, Jenny Baxter.
No near side run option. We likely won't see that again. Kenna Ritz checks in to guard the far post. Baxter, conventional kick, and straight to the foot of Megan Moore. Cuthbert throws into Baxter. Cayetano clearing it up towards Smith. Referees stop play there. He's going to caution Jenna Lee Baxter. Feels the challenge down there at the end was reckless. So she's the first player into the book here in the 70th.
Yellow card caution has been issued to number 11 of Simon Fraser, Jenna Lee Baxter, in the 70th minute.
And we're back underway. Falcons can't hold the ball in play on the far side. That'll lead to a substitution for both teams.
Substitutions for both teams for Simon Fraser.
Ava Giovanola looking to check in.
11, Jenna Lee Baxter, and in number 19, Danae Robillard.
And Danae Robillard comes in for the just cautioned Jenna Lee Baxter.
29,
Megan Nielsen steps off for the Falcons.
and number 26, Ava Giovanola.
And boy, you certainly hope that that was part of a planned substitution by head coach Annie Hamill to put Robillard in for Baxter, the assist queen for the Simon Fraser Clan. But if Hamill's reluctant to put her back in due to her caution, that'll make it very difficult. She was really conducting the offense, not to mention the set piece specialist. Young goes in on a hard challenge. The play results in a turnover. Allison Dixon moving up the far side. She and Ritz tie up on the ball. Ritz whistled for the foul. Samantha Donald restarts play. Floats that ball in, looking for the head of Roski. Cayetano tries to head it clear. She draws the free kick. Goes down a little bit easy on the contact there to Zasia Cayetano, but was fouled. Kenna Ritz. Squaring out for DeVere. Going ahead for Sierra Smith, who's in a foot race with Allison Dixon. Her cross stopped by Grosso. Samantha Donald turns. Robillard. Dispossessed by Sydney Smith. Oh, Sydney Smith's just been a force of nature holding midfield for the Falcons this afternoon. And a large part of why the Clan have had so much trouble getting beyond midfield as she intercepts a lot of those attempted long balls. Cayetano gets around McKay. Hard ball up the line, looking for Michaela Muri. Dropped into nearly a full split, trying to trap that ball. I wonder how she would have recovered to take the second touch, but you got to admire the effort. Lancaster trying to push far side. Instead, it's picked up by Christina Dixon. Dixon has it tapped out of play by Ritz, and that'll allow substitutes for both teams now. Looks like Casey Reeve, Claire Nieder, and Michaela Sonsley will all return for the Falcons. And Emma Pringle and Jenna Lee Baxter back on for the Clan. So it's all hands on deck for both squads as we move into the last 15 minutes of play.
Number 10, Brooke Lancaster, and in for the Falcons, number 21, Casey Reeve, number 11, Claire Nieder, and number 8, Michaela Sonsley.
75 minutes played. Falcons lead by 1. Here's Claire Nieder. Nieder going on her left foot, and that one right at Anderson.
Claire Nieder with the shot that time, and the save by Nicole Anderson.
Anderson's punt drifting to the near sideline. Cuthbert gets a header to it. Kenna Ritz dispossessed by McKay. Pringle making the run ahead of her, and there is Asia Cayetano once more for the Falcons. I just really do get the sense this is why this team has only conceded 2 goals in 7 matches this season. There's a turnover. This one falls for Jenna Lee Baxter. Baxter going for goal. Riley Travis dives to the left post. Wound up not needing to. It looked like she would have been there had that been on target. And it remains 1-0. Sonsley under pressure. Now you're going to see the Clan start to drift forward. They know what time it is in the match. Ball back for Travis. Nieder has it at midfield. She finds Sonsley. The 1-2 with Casey Reeve. Claire Nieder back for Sonsley now. Trying to go through. Young is there. Sonsley under a lot of pressure. Tried to work it back inside. Grosso knocks it clear. Giovanola. Ball in looking for Nieder. Back heel trying to link back up with Giovanola. Falcons freestyling a little bit in the final third. But they are trying to keep the Clan pinned on their heels. And a free kick the way of the Clan will allow them a chance to clear their lines. 78th minute. Falcons on top 1-0. Trying to see this game out. Another goal seems like it would be a sure thing if it winds up coming. Simon Fraser far from out of this game, though. Here's McKenna Ritz up the left side. Ritz across the face of goal, and that one knocked away by Emma Lobo. Emma Lobo just stood strong against Casey Reeve. That's a 5'3" center back taking on a 5'10" striker. It's gone out for a corner, though. Sydney Smith will swing it in. Reeve and Willis wide of the back post. Sydney Smith in toward Reeve. It's over her head. Emma Pringle was there. It's a free header. Nieder touches that ball down. Sonsley turns and fires. And it's out for a goal kick.
Shot number 8, Michaela Sonsley.
High pressure once more. Ball comes to Grosso. She goes down line. Well held by Allison Dixon. Now finds Erhardtsen. She'll knock it long. Christina Dixon giving chase. Christina Dixon cutting inside, finds Baxter. Erhardtsen, big ball to the head of Pringle, who scores here in the 80th minute. The long ball sailing in from Erhardtsen, and Emma Pringle has leveled the match with just over 10 minutes to play. It's a 6th goal of the season for Emma Pringle. That brings her into a tie for the conference lead. And it could not come at a more important time for the visitors. Now, can either of these sides manufacture a game-winning goal, or are we looking at the prospect of overtime here at Interbay Soccer Stadium?
Fraser, first goal of the match, scored in the 80th minute. Number 10, Emma Pringle. For number 7, Kaylin Erhardtsen. Her 6th goal of the season. Pringle from Erhardtsen.
Throw in from Jovanola, up to Nieder. Nieder going in against Lobo. Back pass from Nieder, finds Fonsteli, and that one right at Anderson. Rebound is loose and tipped up over the net by Emma Young.
Fonsteli with the first shot on goal, saved by Nicole Anderson.
Well, it was a crafty escape from the high press that allowed the last goal to be scored by Simon Fraser. We'll see if they can replicate it here. Jovanola. Nieder with the flick on header. Lobo trying to knock it clear, only as far as Ritz. McKenna Ritz tried to play the ball through. She missed. Erhardtsen coming near side for Roski. Doesn't have to keep that in play. Can't keep her feet, though. The sun fully down now here at Interbay Stadium. Dusk in Seattle. Sonsley trying to settle this ball. Michaela Sonsley runs through some pressure. Tanis Cuthbert up to Jenny Baxter. Worth remembering. Goals very rare to be allowed by SPU. This one falls through to Riley Travis. That's just the 3rd goal allowed by this team in 8 matches. It makes sense that it would require the head of one of the conference's leading scorers to do so. Left in space, picked up by Erhardtsen, one back by Sydney Smith. She can't link up with Casey Reeve. Now it's Baxter. Baxter looking for McKay. Cayetano intercepts. Ritz looking to settle. Sonsley. Ball comes behind Nieder. She turns it well. Has Jovanola to the far side. Jovanola and McKay tie up. Falcons retain possession. 84th minute. Long ball over the top. Met by Grosso. Julia DeVere. Casey Reeve lets it run. So does Nieder. Baxter and Smith do battle. Falls for Allison Dixon. Christina Dixon going to make the run up the far side. Sonsley runs in front of Dixon and draws the free kick. Michaela Sonsley. Lines of communication not there with Casey Reeve. DeVere knocks that ball down. Nieder. Nieder works herself into the penalty area here. Cuts back against Grosso. Cut back cross for Sonsley, directed toward goal, but it's a slow shot, and Anderson picks it up easily. 85th minute now. Kenneritz picks that ball away. For Young. Ball coming for Reeve now. Casey Reeve going against Grosso. She'll shoot, and Anderson has it on the bounce. Tough to track those bouncing shots from close range. They can do all kinds of weird things, skitter, especially on this turf. Anderson let it roll. 17 shots the Falcons have taken in this match. Just 10 for the visitors, but nonetheless it's level, 1-1 with 5 minutes to go. Kenneritz picks out Reeve. Sonsley going over the top. Emma Young giving chase. It falls past Young, and Anderson able to collect it off the bounce. Ritz trying to get that ball ahead to Nieder. She'll settle for a throw-in. Throw-in's looking for Nieder. Lobo is there. She'll concede another throw. Giovanola tries to get a cross off after the throw-in. Taking McKay. Gets that ball. Only gets it as far as Willis. Julia DeVere pops it over the top. Grosso is there. Well turned by Allison Dixon on the far side. Ahead for Christina Dixon. Ball runs out of play. 3.5 the time remaining on the clock. Ball finds Pringle. Clan have been dangerous in transition. Pringle pressing forward. Christina Dixon. Into the middle for her. Recycles to Baxter. And Falcons manage to win the throw-in in their own end. Nieder knocks it down for Reeve. They'll go ahead toward Young. Grosso is there as well. And Grosso just pelts this out of play. Falcons want to go quickly, see if they can catch them in transition. They're in for Nieder. She has one option in the middle in Ritz. She and Dixon do battle. Dixon wins. And Grosso content to tuck it out of play. 88th minute now. Clock going to stop while they retrieve another ball. Good refereeing. But it has allowed everyone a chance to recover. So Julia DeVere will try to uncork a long throw in here. Keeps it near side for Nieder. DeVere floats that ball in, can't beat Grosso. Sydney Smith back ahead for Young. She's dispossessed by Lobo. It's rolling to the byline. And gone out for an SPU throw-in. Under 2 to play. Thrown to Nieder. Ball gets around her. It's going to the byline. That ball stayed in. Grosso, a nifty back heel. She's drawn the free kick in any event. 90 seconds left in regulation. We're tied 1-1 between Seattle Pacific University and Simon Fraser.
Dig down, dig down.
Clan over the last couple minutes have had a team, the look of a team just trying to weather a storm, make it to overtime here. Cleared by Cuthbert. Up to Pringle. Michaela Sonsley, 1 minute left. She's pressing forward. Runs through a shoulder charge from Earhartson. Sonsley floats a ball in. Grosso knocks it back out wide. Sonsley, another tap. Falls for Hollis Roski. 50 seconds left. Now Jenna Lee Baxter. Christina Dixon making the big run forward. Popped away by Caitlin Willis. 40 seconds to play now. Is there a winner in regulation? .30 seconds to go. Time for perhaps one last attack from the Falcons. Caitlin Willis venturing downfield. Casey Reeve heads it off the bounce. Young trying to turn it out wide. Grosso gives chase. Emma Young, a big touch from her. Her cross is undercut by Allison Dixon. Out of play. 8 seconds to go. Falcons will throw this ball inbound. Maybe time to take a half-hearted shot. But we finish 1-1 through 90 minutes. This match is going to overtime. We'll take a break at SBUFalcons.com and return with the first overtime period. We are back and set to go for the first of two 10-minute overtime periods here at Interbay Soccer Stadium. Through 90 minutes, it's 1-1 between the Simon Fraser Clan and the SPU Falcons. Andrew Harvey for you here on SPUFalcons.com. Well, the first goal was scored by Brooke Lancaster in the 46th minute, and SPU looked to have total control of things until one counterattack by Simon Fraser, going the way of a header in from Emma Pringle on service from Erhardtsen, brought us level at 1 goal apiece. We'll now play two 10-minute overtime periods. Golden goal is in effect, so if someone scores, they've won. If we're still level at the end of 110 minutes of soccer played, this game will be recorded as a draw. Claire Nieder over the ball for SPU. Casey Reeve right next to her. We're underway. 10 minutes here in the first overtime period. Falcons needed just about 45 seconds to score their first goal in the last one. Now a turnover to Erhardtsen. Ball hitting the middle for Pringle. Pringle going in against Asia Cayetano, and Cayetano, with no mercy, swings through that ball, brings down Pringle in the attempt. That's a great defensive clearance. Now Erhardtsen. Floated along. She wanted Pringle at the back post. Might fall for McKay. Not clear by Willis. Casey Reeve. Long ball from Sonsley. Grosso the first one to it. Smith. Sonsley holds on to it through a couple of challenges. Long ball up to Reeve. Allison Dixon's found to Erhardtsen. Jenna Lee Baxter making a run up the left side. She's going to be rewarded with the ball. Willis coming out to apply pressure. Pringle drifting inside. Ball looking for Pringle. It's just beyond her outstretched foot. And Ava Giovanola fans it out the far side. Well, all of a sudden it is the Clan who are putting on the pressure here at Interbay Stadium. Long throwing up to Nieder. Dispossessed at midfield. Tennis Cuthbert. Brooke Lancaster, the goal scorer from the second half. Manages to get that ball. Falcons hold on to it. Hard hit ball by Cayetano. Straight to Hollis Roski, though. Comes beyond Pringle. Sydney Smith wants to reset to Riley Travis. Willis. Reeve. Tried to go first time with it to Sonsley. Instead comes back for Reeve. Sonsley. She'll come wide right. Wide for DeVere. Julia DeVere. Spins in across. Going for goal. She's put it just over the bar. Anderson went up trying to tip it over. It really looked like that had dipped underneath the bar. Great read from Nicole Anderson to recognize that was not going to be on frame. And the crowd here for a moment thinking that Julie DeVere had ended that game with a single strike. Ball's run out the far side. Referee had played advantage momentarily. Now the Falcons, maybe with a chance to send in a long free kick. Sydney Smith wants to send this one. Caitlin Willis drifts forward. Smith into the area looking for Reeve. Finds Emma Lobo instead. Taking McKay. Half the clearance. Cuthbert with the rest. Cayetano pops this ball back in. Anderson collects it out of the air. Brooke Lancaster going to ground there, conceding the throw-in. Substitution now for the visitors. I believe that is Gabrielle Brissett who's checked back in. Taking McKay headed for the bench. 96th minute now. Running for Nieder. Lancaster. Poked away from her. As far as Sydney Smith. Smith. She's intercepted by Hollis Roski. Earhartson. Smith crashes in. Can't quite retain the ball, though. And Earhartson escapes to Cuthbert. Down line. Finds Pringle. Earhartson.
8, Samantha Donald leaving. Number 16, Gabrielle Brissett into the match.
Ball left in space. Caitlin Willis crashes in, wins a goal kick for her side. Willis. Sonsley, 3 defenders around her, no support, and it's a turnover. Comes for Earhartson. Earhartson quickly looking to go through. Still falls now for Christina Dixon. Earhartson, Pringle, Dixon. Lays off for Baxter. Baxter thought about going for goal. She felt the pressure from Lancaster, pulled it back. Now wide for Cuthbert. Tanis Cuthbert, searching cross from her, headed back out by Sonsley. Cuthbert's second attempt. Right back to Sonsley, gets beyond her. Christina Dixon. And knocked clear by Willis. Past midfield, Lobo turns and gives chase to it. She'll have a chance to play this ball. Lobo goes to Cuthbert. Roski. Ball left in space by SPU. Earhartson moving into the middle. Now she'll drift to the right alley. And it's tucked away out of play by Ava Giovanola. 98th minute. Tanis Cuthbert looking for the throw-in. She picks Pringle. Brissett. Cuthbert, her cross to the back post, tipped by Travis. Still alive for Christina Dixon. Back across the face of goal. Baxter is there. She can't redirect it. Popped up, but not clear of the 18. Earhartson underneath it. Riley Travis calls everyone off and collects it off the bounce. Shaky moments at the back end for SPU, who have been on their heels in this first overtime period. DeVere going back to Travis. Falcons will look to switch. Now it is the Clan who are playing the high press. Cayetano's venturing forth. 90 seconds left in the first overtime period. Lancaster spins out of a challenge. Lancaster going wide for Giovanola. She gives chase and cannot get to the ball. Falcons win it back. Just over a minute to go in the first overtime. Long throw in, looking for Nieder. Nieder, cross in for Sonstely. Cleared away. Lancaster trying to bring it down. Gently Baxter. Going out wide to Brissett. Cuthbert. She'll smash it long. Header Cayetano. And Earhartson goes back over the top. 38 seconds to go. Cayetano for Travis. 30 seconds left. Caitlin Willis. Willis up toward Reeve. Flick on header from her toward Young. Young. Flick on header to the backside. Intercepted by Lobo. Lobo dishes back to the near side. Julia DeVere. Sonsley trying to bring it down. 13 seconds now. Allison Dixon.
9, 8.
Awkward rebound. Rolls into space.
5, 4.
And it will not be enough after 100 minutes. This game bound for second overtime. We'll take a very short break and return with the final 10 minutes of play.
Still tied at 1. Simon Fraser, Clan 1, and Georgia Pacific, Salem Pacific University Falcons.
We are back at Interbay Stadium. One overtime period in the books. One more to go, and 1-1 between SPU and the Simon Fraser clan.
Salem Pacific University Falcons.
It's a match that's seen 27 shots total, 17 by SPU, 10 by the visitors. Just 2 goals. Falcons break their huddle. And right off the bat, Simon Fraser going to try to press forward. Gently Baxter gets that ball, gets through a couple of challenges with it. Baxter going back to the left. Pringle is there. She can't turn under the pressure. Sonsley will attempt to dribble free. Hard hit ball downfield, but no one on the end of it. Cuthbert. Lancaster runs through the shove in the back. One back by Roski. Now Baxter. Jenny Baxter, a big touch. Baxter going for the far post, can't put it on frame.
Jenny Baxter with a shot for Simon Fraser.
Ball worked up the side. Now Lancaster. Willis. Reeve tried to tap back to Lancaster. It'll be another turnover. Jenny Baxter coming near side for Gabrielle Brissett. Brissett in for Pringle. Chopped down by Sydney Smith, and that is going to draw a yellow card. Sydney Smith went for the ball, took the man, and is booked here in the 102nd minute. And no complaint from Sydney Smith. Holds up her hand by way of an apology.
Yellow card caution issued to number 15 of the Falcons, Sydney Smith.
Now a very promising free kick opportunity for the Clan. Baxter and Cuthbert both over the ball. You'd have to assume it would be Baxter. It is. She drives this ball in. Header at the back post. A scrum and loose inside the area. Still loose. It squibs through the hands of Riley Travis. And the game is over. The goal scored here in the 102nd. And the loose melee results in the game-winning goal in the second overtime period. A heartbreaker for SPU at home, who fall to 6-2 on the season, 2-1 in conference play. The Clan improved to 4-3. And a 2-1 ledger in conference play. That's going to do it for us here from Interbay Stadium. For all of us here at SBUFalcons.com, I'm Andrew Harvey saying so long. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.